right, good morning, everybody. It's another Cute for Team session, Champions Using Teams Effectively. I'm back, Ricardo Wilkins, and you've got Stacy as well, here for another session with you. I've missed you. I think it's been a couple of weeks.
Two whole Fridays without Ricardo. I was starting to have withdrawals.
And also, unfortunately, if you're keeping up on the YouTube on demand archives, the last couple of recordings, didn't work out so well. So didn't get those in the archives, but hopefully this recording works fine and we'll keep it going. This is, I think, episode 67, which is crazy.
Wow.
But anyway, I know. You guys have been there the whole way, so congrats. So we'll dive right in it. For anybody that may be new, this is office hours. Come and talk with us about Teams and, bring your questions. So you can certainly start to put them in chat or come off mute. However, given this week, I thought it was kind of obligatory. Anybody doing office hours this week, it's obligatory you mention the Inspire that occurred this week and the announcements that, were talked about. And of course, they're brand new announcements. You're not expecting to see everything in your tenant, right now, but Inspire. Let me just bring that up. I'm curious to get people's thoughts on some of them as well. So I'm gonna bring up the one from Tech Community here. Let me make sure my chat is okay here. Yeah. So I won't drain this, but it was a few that I thought would be pretty obvious for Teams geeks like us to get excited about. This first one here, Excel Live. If you haven't seen this or heard this announcement before, this is where everyone's in the Teams meeting and interacting with the shared spreadsheet in the meeting. So I always call out, Excel certainly has had real-time collaboration. Today, we would do that by everybody actually getting in a document on their own and doing that real-time collaboration. This would be, I don't have to open the document, I get in the meeting and the meeting's taking care of that real-time collaboration for me. So if you can kind of see there, those little colored squares are the different people. So, maybe by show of thumbs up, has anyone ever been in particularly Excel, been in an Excel document, real-time co-authoring? Maybe just some thumbs up out there. I see a couple, yeah. Oh, I see a lot, yeah. So, because I bring that up because that can get crazy with enough people, to especially Excel, seeing all those colored squares flying across the screen. Kind of just, I guess, depends on what you're doing. But so I'm very interested to try that out one day, see how that works, see how crazy that gets. I was in a spreadsheet once with like 10 people in it, and it was kind of like a lot. So I think that one's interesting.
But imagine that. Yeah, you say it's a lot, but imagine that when you didn't have co-authoring, right?
That's true. You're right.
If you had 10 people that all had to touch that file and then save the file locally and do their changes and then email each other and then keep track of who changed what, when, and how. I mean, It's all baked in now.
Yeah.
I mean, It's a totally different world. So the 10 of you didn't have to wait for somebody to check it back in, didn't have to wait for somebody to email it to you, the efficiency of time, visually it's probably a little like, whoa, but man, how I appreciate that feature. Yeah. I've been there and done that with lots of people who had to co-author when that feature wasn't there. And Let me tell you, that's a painful process if you're the one collecting everybody's stuff and trying to make it look pretty. Oh, yeah. I love it.
I also like the idea of everybody's video being on, so I can look at Paula there and say, "What are you doing? What you're messing up my spreadsheet?"
Do you need a little one of those like hand motions, like slap it down?
Right.
Or downvote the change as it's happening.
There you go. And of course, you guys, we're sitting here bantering, but you guys can certainly come off mute and chime in as well on any of this for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That should be a good one. And I'm seeing in the chat, some folks loving co-authoring. 2 or 3 folks at a time might be what most folks have had to deal with. So yeah, it'll be interesting if you ever get in a big meeting and this co-authoring is happening. Also, collaborative annotation. So in the case of this one here, they're showing a whiteboard where multiple people are in at the same time. I could see that not being too crazy. So that's also coming. The other one I was interested in, I'm kind of passing some of the Teams room stuff here. So shared channels. I'm pretty sure on this meeting, I have clearly expressed my obsession with the shared channels coming out. I've been calling it the best thing since sliced bread, bigger than the wheel, all of that stuff. So, and in some of my other webinars, Coffee with the Cowbell and stuff like that, we've done some demos as it was in preview. And so, as this rolls out, you'll probably hear more from me about that because I just can't stop talking about it. It's got great implications, not just for external collaboration, but even internal collaboration. So it's nice to see that get a nice firm announcement there. Says generally available in July. So we'll see how that goes. But the other one I thought was interesting, well, two others I thought it was interesting, and I'll be quiet about this, but the video clip concept. So if you saw this is essentially, we've had audio clips that you could put into chat. And I think I may have tried that once, maybe twice in, the last year, however long it's been out there. So especially on mobile, quick mobile audio. I don't want to fiddle with a phone and type something up. So quick mobile audio, message to chat with. Well, now similar concept, but including video. And, I think that enhances that a little bit. I was kind of wondering to myself how much I would use it. I do plan to try it with some colleagues and see how they respond. I was asking myself whether, I type pretty fast, so would it be better for me to just type it out or or say it? But I figure I think it might be good, so I'm gonna try that out. We've got it in our tenant. I'm gonna try that out, and maybe I'll bring back to this group, the response I got, whether they eye rolled at me or whether they liked it. So that was a interesting one there. I don't know if anybody's got a thought on whether they would use a video chat. So many people don't like to, come on camera, period. So to send a chat with video, I don't know. I don't know. Throw a thumbs up out there if you think you'll use video chat. And I don't see any thumbs up. so that's interesting. And then the last one I was going to mention is this chat with self. When I saw that get announced a little ways back, I saw responses like, why would I use this? I think there's different scenarios, chatting with yourself. I've always done that myself. Maybe I'm just different, but as your personal journal, as a place to try things out before you try them out somewhere else. So I think it does have some value there. So I'm already using that one actually. So those were some of the cool things that I thought were out there. And of course, everybody loves having more reactions as well. So, but yeah, feel free to come off mute if you got any comments to these or any other announcements that you heard. But from an Inspire announcements perspective, I figured I'd just kind of go through a few of those there. I know it's being asked in the chat about GCC rollout. I don't know that I've checked each one to see whether anyone's got a delay for GCC or not. Okay, Stacey, you responded.
Yeah, I followed up on that one. Okay. We do have a inquiring mind wants to know how you do your moving background.
It's not a simple process. It's a video background. I'm using a separate tool. I guess I'll say it's not a Teams native thing. I'm doing some fancy YouTube streamers type stuff. So it's not a short answer there.
A lot of
Yeah.
fun production stuff that
Right. Yeah. I know I haven't heard of video backgrounds coming to Teams or anything like that. So so yeah, this is fancy that's going on back there. See what else. Video clip may create, someone's saying a video clip may create more connection, especially in remote work. And yet I agree. I think that's part of the design of it. And that's why I feel like I need to try it with colleagues, because you know, you have so many meetings off camera, you know, and it might just be refreshing to see each other's face every now and then. So um yeah, and someone sends email to themselves. So yeah, the chat with themselves is same kind of concept. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, so that was the Inspire stuff. Again, there was more there, especially if you're into Teams rooms and some other things that were there, but I thought I'd just mention a few. Did I miss any questions in the chat, or is it just comments?
I think we're good on the chat, unless I missed something. But I wanted to call out. I see April's name here in the people, and I owed her an email I forgot to send out. I'm curious if anyone else, if you've had any trouble with Power Automate this week in the GCC, would you throw up a hand? I have not seen a official announcement that there's an outage, but I did notice that I had an issue in my tenant using the Power Automate app in Teams. And so I wasn't sure if it was isolated, or if we should have, or if I should advise April to open a ticket. It looks like there's some commonality with that. I can see that the hands going up. So
yeah, when I saw the error, it was more on the client side, but I think on the web I was able to get it to work, but it wasn't, it was kind of weird. So I don't know if they were working on something. Yeah, I kind of got one of those plus a GUID ID kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I was seeing it looks like something went wrong in my Teams Power Automate app usage today, and earlier this week when you emailed me, I checked and then didn't close the loop on that. So I apologize for the delay, but in seeing hands come up here, I think it probably is a known issue. I'm just not sure how isolated it is. Typically, and I'm sure Ricardo will nod a big nod, although you feel free to disagree, but when you're running into those issues and you don't see anything in the message center, or you contact IT and they can't see that there's any advisory out there for it, then it's probably worth just opening a ticket and letting us know that your tenant is affected by whatever may be beyond just your tenant that's affected, right? Because then we can see the scope of whatever the issue is. So if you're still seeing issues with Power Automate, please, let us know. Ricardo, don't you agree? We really want to,
Absolutely.
the tickets is how we know the breadth of the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you kind of feel like it's probably already a ticket out there, adding your voice to that, helps. For sure.
yeah, and so I discovered it because what I was trying to do was to take some approvals from the approval app, and once, say, like a leave approval, is that it would publish, I could use Power Automate to push that approval to a channel calendar, but I couldn't quite figure out how to get them to connect and all that stuff, because the approvals app seems to be by itself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and is this one? Okay, it is working in the web, so it's just a Teams related issue.
Yeah, I think it's in particular that Teams app for Power Automate.
Interesting. To update to allow a new URL. Okay. So I see one with no issue, and they're updating, having an admin update for the new URL for Power Automate. Okay. Okay, notice some new camera settings in Teams for soft focus and brightness. I mean, you guys already look great. I don't know why you need, camera features.
Soft focus. I don't know what that is.
Uh,
I never used that. This is all me.
Right.
Yeah, soft focus is fantastic. I just find that it calms nerves, makes me feel a little bit more confident when maybe I am a little rough around the edges. And so I'm all about it. And I'm glad that it's available in the government cloud now too.
Bust it there. And PowerPoint designer I'm seeing in the chat. Was that an Inspire announcement? PowerPoint designer.
Oh, no, we just saw it yesterday by another Microsoft rep, and I just read up, and it looks like it comes with PowerPoint, but it doesn't look like it has anything different from the GCC. So I'm thinking maybe it's just our admins that need to either enable or disable it. But it looked really cool.
Is it design? Is he talking about design ideas?
No.
Maybe the speaker stuff, because I know there were
Amanda,
some
who
features around that.
was the guest speaker we had from Microsoft yesterday?
Okay.
Grant.
Ah,
Oh yeah, Grant showed us a PowerPoint, and he said he used PowerPoint Designer, and it was just beautiful. It made our PowerPoints look like the 1970s.
Okay.
well, good for Grant. I'll go harass him and get the deets.
Right. Yeah, because I know designer or design idea. Well, I guess it does say designer at the bottom. I've always just called it design ideas, but yeah, it certainly
Right.
does suggest things based on what's in there. So I don't know how smart it is. Like if I say that and then I go to design ideas, yeah, it goes and finds a puppy, right? Yeah, so it's got some nice AI in there. Yeah, so yeah, I've certainly used that from time to time.
So I wonder, Brandon, if it's specifically blocked or if the version, because it's going to require a certain version to be
I think-
available.
I think
It's
some tenants
blocked.
don't.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
don't like it calling up to the cloud for ideas, right?
That's kind of my take on it. It throws an ad, it's got to be enabled by your administrator, something like that. I do have a completely unrelated question, and it's probably been asked a zillion times, but, bear with me. I clicked on people. I noticed that both of you guys are flagged as organizers, and I know
Mhm.
that has not hit us yet. It's something we've been foaming at the mouth for years. So my question to you is, can you guys give us a brief overview in terms of what the co-organizer can and can't do in relationship to the actual organizer themselves? Because I remember looking this up, and I thought there were some limitations to the co-organizer, like as it pertains to like possibly attendee reports, stuff like that. So can you kind of give us an idea of what can and can't be done as a co-organizer?
Stacy, is that part of your document?
It is, and
Okay.
I'm emailing Brandon right now.
Okay.
If you attended last week, then you should have received, and Brandon, I can't remember if you were here or not, but in any event, I just sent you one. I took the attendee report from last week and emailed out a matrix that I shared during the meeting last week. And I will pull it up in just a moment so that I can share it with you.
Awesome.
The
Thank
matrix, the matrix attempts to take every role that's available once you get the co-organizer feature, to take every role and identify what that role can do, because we have the organizer, the Kimberly. I wonder if you weren't here last week. That's probably
I was.
why.
Two of my teammates were here too, and none of us got it. We would love
Okay.
it, Casey.
Sure. Well, it did go out
We
today.
just got it today.
Oh, we did? Oh, thanks, Lori. Cool.
It was
Never
a
mind.
little, yeah, we were a little behind. I was a little behind in getting it out to you, but you should have it. And if you don't, I will check over the list from today's attendees and share it out. Thanks, Ricardo, for pulling that up, or whoever is sharing. This takes a stab at taking all of our support documentation and all of our other good information around Teams meetings and webinar roles and splitting it out by capability. And you can see the organizer is the first person who creates the meeting, is still the only one who can do anything to that existing meeting invitation, and managing the recording and viewing and downloading the attendance reports is still, oh, David, that's funny, is still part of the key organizer role. The co-organizer will take all the other tasks during the meeting and be much more flexible and responsive than, say, a presenter was before this role was created. It is going to allow the ending of a meeting, the locking of a meeting, the changing of the meeting options, which I know this group understands how powerful those meeting options are, because we've talked about that quite a bit. And also the last one there, I guess I addressed them all. Share and present content goes across. And then I also captured the breakout room manager, because that is a role that has been released recently, and that has those key breakout room related capabilities available to it. And both the breakout room manager and the co-organizer just builds on top of the presenter role. So it's going to be able to do and continue to do everything that a presenter could do, even when they're elevated to the breakout room manager and or the co-organizer. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. And I had heard there were quite a few of my customers who reached out to tell me that they received both the chat with self and the co-organizer role in, say, the last week. So Brandon, hopefully it's going to be landing for you, very, very soon. I have not heard that the rollout is complete, so I'm sure it's still in progress and making its way around the country, but I'm looking forward to everybody having it and understanding its co-organizer limitations versus organizer stand is going to be important to know as you're leading conversations around how that role is really intended to be.
Thank you.
Sure.
Brandon's always got to have the latest, greatest, just never satisfied.
You know, it's a thing, man.
I
It
can
really
identify.
is a thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate that that chart there, Stacy. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I'm open to feedback as you guys review it. You're in and out of these things every day. There are things that I painstakingly edit and comb through, and I've been known to miss things, or a fresh set of eyes is always perfect. So thank you.
Got a couple more minutes here. I'm trying to think about other things that might be new, or see some. We got mixed results on that chat with self, according to the chat. Some people got it, some people don't. I think what else is out there? We did talk about Viva. There were certainly been some Viva announcements, lately. Viva goals and engage, and goals, engage. Yeah, I think those are the two new ones.
Yeah. Karen has a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. I have a question about channel calendars in our environment. When people create a channel calendar in a team and then they create an appointment or meeting, sometimes an invitation will go out only to the people that were specifically invited to the meeting. Other times, even when it's only an appointment, an invitation will go out to everybody in the entire team, and they'll get a meeting invitation in Outlook. It seems really inconsistent. Sometimes users have reported to me that they get different behavior in different channels in the same team. Different people try it and get different results. So we're kind of scared to use channel calendars because we can't predict if it's going to just invite the people that we wanted invited, or if everybody in the whole team is going to get an invitation. Sometimes people want to invite everybody in the team.
Mhm.
Sometimes they just want to invite specific people. And so it's causing us to kind of avoid using channel calendars. Do you know, has anybody else had that happen? Do you know, is there some setting we haven't found yet that could be causing this, that's in the back end of a team?
Here's my theory. And I think I have a short video about this on my YouTube channel and have talked about this in the past. The notifications may be related to their Office 365 settings that you see here. You can see that there's options for receiving all the events, receiving only ones that reply to you, and then an edit group as the group or the team owner. You have this checkbox here. If you can see this. Oops, I tried to zoom in. That was not right. Let me get back. Members will receive all group conversations and events in their inboxes. They can stop following this group later if they want to. So that's a checkbox that you as the owner can force. But I feel like these are the settings that might be what you need to address to get the desired outcome. Some friend of mine was telling me that, because you would wonder, why isn't this set the same all the time? Someone had a theory that, and I never able to confirm it, that it kind of depends on how the team was created. If an admin created your team, you might get some different settings than if you as an end user created. Because I've certainly been in teams with that without any modification. Everyone got the channel meetings like I would expect. I've been in other teams where not everyone got it. Why is that? And then you try to think, okay, how did this team get created? So, but short story, this may be your first place to start troubleshooting as the team owner. Go in here and check these settings, see if they look like what you want them to be. And again, if you're wondering how I got here a very hacky kind of way. That I open the team in SharePoint. I do that because that's the spot where I get this nice link to the group. It says conversations. You would think it's the team's conversations. It's not. It's the old school email distribution list for that team. And your groups are usually listed here, but not all of them. Sometimes that's why I'm using this approach. And then once you're here, the settings on the 3 dots is how I got there. So this would be settings for me as the individual in this team. What do I want to happen? And then as an owner, edit group gives me some additional settings. So I would start there. That's my current theory based on what you described, is that this may be affecting the experience you're having there. Does that make sense?
Well, we'll check that. And all of our groups, our teams are created by admins. We don't allow users to create teams. So I don't know what the admins do, but we haven't had any that were created by a user. So that wouldn't be affecting it unless different admins use different methods or something.
Yeah. So my theory may be that since they're all admin created, they may all be created without this checkbox checked, or in other words, being created in such a way that all the users don't automatically get the inputs. That's my theory. So that may be a good place to start.
Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff. I'll try to find the video link up. Well, I guess we've just created a video here for that, so no need to find you another one. So cool. And then someone else scrolling down to see the number of groups. So you're right. You do have groups over here. I can click more and I can see more, but those of you that were paying attention on the Teams area, I'm in more groups than this. That's why I don't just come into my mail and depend on this list. It doesn't show them all, but the approach I just used is a guaranteed way to get to the group page for that team. So I'm not sure exactly what decides what's there and what's not, but I've just learned to not depend on it, and I use the other way. Awesome. We're kind of out of time here. So it's good stuff. Yeah, we'll be back next week. And so yeah, I'm glad we had this time together, and I'm glad I'm back, and glad you're back. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out the blog for more content.